Why do brand new carpets fail? It's a question that plagues thousands of homeowners. You spend an absolute fortune on fresh flooring, only to watch it wrinkle, buckle, and just break down within a couple of years. Well, the answer? It almost never lies in the carpet fibers themselves. The truth usually lies underneath the surface, completely out of sight.
Welcome to this explainer. I am so excited we're looking at this today because we are exploring the iceberg concept of flooring. Think about it. When you buy a carpet, you're really only seeing the tip of the iceberg, right? The color, the texture, the pattern. But the massive foundation doing literally all the heavy lifting, that's buried underneath. So consider this your insider's guide to the hidden elements of flooring that actually determine whether your investment will last for decades or, well, fall apart in months.
Okay, let's dive into this. We'll be looking at the hidden foundation, the rules of density, choosing the right pad, the phantom wet carpet, and finally, installation red flags.
Section 1. The hidden foundation. What lies beneath the surface? I want to completely shift how you think about your flooring. The padding underneath, not the actual carpet fiber you walk on, is the true hero here. It dictates longevity, durability, and comfort. Without padding, your carpet is essentially just a thin sheet grinding directly against a hard subfloor. Padding physically works to absorb the sheer impact of heavy foot traffic. So when you take a step, the pad absorbs the flex so the carpet backing doesn't have to. If your carpet backing takes that stress directly, it breaks down fast. And that is exactly what causes early seam failure. But beyond structural support, the pad is what adds thermal insulation, it buffers sound between floors, and it creates a vital protective buffer against the rough subfloor. A great carpet on a terrible pad will fail quickly, but a mediocre carpet on an amazing pad, that's going to perform like an absolute champion.
Section 2. Density over thickness. The two golden rules.
Now this completely busts a common consumer myth. Almost everyone assumes a thicker pad is automatically a more luxurious pad. But let's compare these two specs. While people obsess over thickness, density, which is the actual weight of the material packed into a cubic foot, is your true measure of quality and support. A pad that compresses completely under foot traffic provides zero support regardless of how thick it started out. For a standard residential home, you want to aim for a density of about 6 to 8 pounds. If you drop below a 5-pound density, that pad is just going to crush rapidly under your feet.
And when it comes to thickness, you really need to memorize this fraction, 7/16 of an inch. According to industry guidelines, this is the hard and fast maximum thickness for cut pile carpet. If you buy a pad thicker than 7/16, it allows the carpet to flex way too much under your foot. That excessive flexing actually destroys the backing, and incredibly, it will completely void your carpet manufacturer's warranty. Literally, void the whole thing. But here is a fascinating insider trade secret that you absolutely need to know to verify specs before you buy. When you go into a store, retailers and installers will constantly offer you a quote for a half-inch pad. Don't panic, a nominal half-inch pad in the flooring trade actually measures a hair under 7/16 of an inch when measured with a physical caliper. They call it half-inch, but it's engineered specifically to meet that strict warranty specification.
Section 3. Choosing the right pad, materials, and moisture.
Choosing the right pad means matching the chemistry to the room. Ultra Bond memory foam is fantastic for premium comfort and often comes with a moisture barrier to protect your subfloor from spills and pet accidents, though keep in mind it can sometimes hold furniture marks. Then you have Rebond foam, your standard, budget-friendly option made of recycled chunks. It's actually what you see in most homes. Froth's foam is marketed as premium virgin urethane, though some pros note its performance can occasionally be a bit inconsistent. Finally, there's the fiber pad. This is a flat, very firm synthetic or natural hair pad with minimal cushion. Now, why would you want that? Well, because if you have a looped carpet or a Berber carpet, a firm fiber pad is an absolute necessity to keep those rigid loops from buckling and creating waves.
While we're on the topic of moisture, there is a crucial warning shared by flooring experts, particularly for basement installations. While a top moisture barrier protects your subfloor from a spilled glass of water, you must avoid pads with a bottom moisture barrier if you're installing over a concrete slab. Concrete breathes, and a bottom barrier traps that natural slab moisture. This allows mold to grow and can occasionally cause literal speed bump pressure bubbles to form under your carpet. Nobody wants that.
Matching the room to the pad is an exact science. Notice how the primary bedroom gets the luxurious memory foam. But look at the stairs. Stairs face the most concentrated repeated stress of any floor in your house, right on the edge of the nosing. You simply cannot put soft memory foam there. Stairs require an 8-pound firm Rebond pad, or your carpet will wear out prematurely. Similarly, the basement gets a moisture barrier to protect against dampness, and Berber gets that high-density flat fiber pad.
Section 4. The phantom wet carpet.
Is it actually damp?
Have you ever walked into a ground floor room on a rainy day and sworn the carpet feels soaking wet? Well, before you rip up your floorboards looking for a burst pipe, you need to understand your indoor environment. A hygrometer is a simple, inexpensive device that measures indoor humidity. By combining your room's temperature and humidity, you can calculate the dew point, which is the exact temperature at which a cold floor will physically trigger actual condensation in the carpet backing. And this brilliantly illustrates the sensory trick our own bodies play on us. Human skin actually has no biological receptors for wetness. Seriously, think about that for a second. We literally cannot feel wetness. What our brain interprets as wet is just a complex combination of cold, pressure, and texture. When indoor humidity is high and the floor is cold, your brain is easily tricked into signaling that your socks are soaked. The solution? The paper towel test. Before you rush out to buy a massive industrial dehumidifier or, tear up your living room, simply press a dry paper towel firmly into the carpet. If it comes up dry, you aren't crazy, your carpet is just cold.
Section 5. Installation red flags. When the labor fails.
You could buy the most premium pad on the market, and it will be completely useless if the labor fails. Take this frustrated homeowner on a flooring forum who said, "They didn't even stretch the carpet. They literally rolled the carpet out and cut it in. They paid good money for a professional job, but were left with bubbling, loose carpet because the installer skipped the most critical part of the job and just rolled it out like a picnic blanket."
When you're overseeing an installation, you need to watch for specific visual red flags. If an installer just uses a tiny knee kicker, a small tool they literally bump with their knee, instead of a massive mechanical power stretcher that spans the entire room, your carpet is pretty much guaranteed to develop wrinkles and bubbles within a year. Also, notice the large floor vents. If they're missing tack strips, the carpet isn't secure. Look at the doorways too. If the padding is cut several inches away from the transition, you're going to feel a terrible dip every single time you walk into the room. And at those transitions, a lazy installer will just cut the carpet flush. A true professional does a turn and tack, meaning they fold the carpet under itself and staple the fold against the transition for a clean, seamless finish.
So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is to use this exact checklist to verify your installer is doing the job correctly before you sign off and hand over your money. Ensure they power stretch across the room, ensure tack strips are present at borders and large vents, check the transitions for a proper fold, and make absolutely sure the pad itself is firmly stapled to the wooden subfloor so nothing shifts under your feet over time.
By understanding padding density, dodging moisture traps, and holding your installers accountable, you completely take the mystery out of flooring. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the foam beneath your toes to the illusions of humidity. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. Will your next carpet survive its own foundation? Remember, your flooring investment is truly only as strong as the hidden padding and the invisible labor beneath it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.